just get blown away by the McLarens? And will he just get remembered for doing a great lap? But it's not practically going to mean anything. What are we thinking, chat? What are we thinking? You got the standings up there. I'm going to sneeze. Up. Oh dear. DM81 says, could rain. It's raining where I am in Japan, not too far away. Welcome, DM81. I've never seen raining spot like that. I'm impressed. So, DM81 confirming raining in Japan. And C doesn't see great taste pace for the RB21. Caught at 10:40 PM in Colorado. Yeah, you got prime time here. Very nice. I didn't know it'd be such prime time in the US. Welcome, Ron. Welcome, Mike from Mississippi. And Ulan Ghana Thathan Paramesivim. How can we forget? Osfrog Lawson to beat Snowder. Yeah, that we're gonna have a Lawson v Snowder watch. 100%. 100%. Formula 1 is back. Isn't it 3 back-to-backs now? Oh, very exciting news, everyone. I'm gonna be in Monaco. I'm gonna be in Monaco for the Formula E in a couple of weeks, and I'll shoot some F1 content when I'm out there. So let me know what you want to see from me out in Monaco. Obviously I have a video already on like how to go to Monaco super cheaply and sneak in and see the F1 from secret places. So we could do more like that. We can update that video. Indiana in the house. Indiana representing. We'll do a nation check in a little bit. American Albon winning the chaos. Well, Alex Albon again in the top 10. Carlos Sainz again getting out qualified by Alex Albon. Is Alex Albon actually a generational talent? Call it on Max Orlando for the win. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to close my blind because then I won't know what time it is. And after the race, if I want to have a nap, I'll be able to do it. So I'm going to do that now. Smart. Colin says, hit that. Yeah, indeed. We did a big old like target for today. America said, hopefully Lando. Is that a motorbike going down the corkscrew I see? So we're happy with the old layout here. We're happy with this one. I'll keep trying to see alternate ones. But at the moment, it's no can do. Oh, wait. No, it isn't a no can do. It's very much a can do. Okay. Okay, we're going to have usual situation here then. Amazing. I just want to... Just want to get this up. Just bear with me a second. Chat, if you don't mind. Chat, you won't mind. You won't mind, but I think we could lose this one. And I think we'll be able to bring back this one. Woo. See now, hey, the live timing's rising. I can't remember where we put this live timing before. Does anyone remember? Does anyone remember where we put it? I'm guessing that goes like that. There we go. Stefano Domenicani high-fiving people. Rocco likes this. Okay. And if Rocco's happy. Where did we put the radio? Where does the radio go? Does that seem sensible? I mean, that's very small. Why don't we put the radio... Why do we not put the radio here? There we go. Did the radio even work in Melbourne? It didn't work in Melbourne, but it did work in China, didn't it? It did work in China. Welcome, Octav. Benzo, thought about doing much iRacing. The thing is, I've been doing sim racing for such a long time, I've kind of done a lot. So I have done a lot of iRacing. Oh, Charles Leclerc spraying himself with a face mist and then doing his eyelashes. Interesting pre-race ritual there. I've done iRacing guides, etc. I do want to do more iRacing. I mean, I do have a lot of the content. Because people watch the guides and they very kindly sign up using my link, so I get iRacing credit. Welcome Yasu, up early. Need the weather forecast. Davina Jane's in the house. Japan is such a great nation. By the way, Kimi Antonelli, I don't know if everyone saw my F1 predictions over on the Motorsport channel, but Kimi Antonelli I predicted to get P3. P3 I predicted for Kimi. I'm not that happy about where this radio is. It doesn't look aesthetically pleasing. I'm not too keen on it. Chat. Me to make the left box smaller. What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't understand. What if Norris and Piastri takes it out? That'd be great for the championship. That would be awesome. Championship-wise. Would make things very interesting. Chat in here. Drivers are getting ready now. Race suits going on. How long to go to the start of race? 10 minutes. 10 minutes till the start of the race, everyone. Too small to read. The radio. Yeah, there's no point having the radio like that. Hang on. Okay. Okay, what if we do like... What if we do like that? Oh no, that gap will not do. No, sir. How about it without the gap like that? There we go. Now we're talking, I think. Dutch Lifelog coming in. 20% of rain during the race. And Tanjim Samir Khan, I think, has got all the flags ready. You're just checking the flags there. Are you going to be throwing the flags for us so we know in the chat? Hang on, I'm getting lots of feedback here. Hopefully we won't get any spammers this right. Hopefully, yeah, I mean, for the mods I hope we won't, but it's also very exciting when we get spammers. Games and who predicts rain? Well, the Dutch live blog says 1 in 5 chance. Move the right border to the left. What's the right border? Make the track slightly smaller and put the box on the right. Generally, people want to see the track bigger. Like, that's unusual. In fact, I think we can make the track a little bit bigger. Now you've reminded me. I think we can do some magic here like this. Look at this. There we go. Welcome to fan 007 in house. How'd you do it in China? Very good. 27 likes. Come on, team. Let's aim for 1 billion likes. Let's actually do the nations chat. Let's start off with the nations chat. Let us know when and what you're watching from. I'm expecting US here to dominate. I'm not expecting a great UK presence today. I'm not expecting a great UK presence. Rodney, Australia, Dimitrian, Greece, Octav, Germany, China, Netherlands, Roko, Croatia, Michael, Australia, Anaf, Maldives, Vlaka, Croatia, with the 12-month badge. Look at that. Seem to be updated. Bangladesh, Montreal, Australia, US, Philippines, Indonesia, South Africa, USA, US, Netherlands, Denmark in the house. Ricky McQueen from Canada. Welcome back, Ricky McQueen. Philippines. Here's Colorado, Toronto. So we are having a North American... The tariffs haven't hit this stream yet. Have the tariffs hit this stream? Are we being tariffed? Good mix, Dark Cloud says. Welcome back, Dark Cloud. Indeed, I'm pretty happy with the old layout. We can go Vibey if we want. We have the Vibey option. The Vibey option is there. Alex Villancourt in the house as well. Yeah, hopefully going to be a very fun race today. The vertical stream is an absolute mess. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Has some very exciting stuff happened this week, which is going to be really cool. Always trying to do the cool stuff. Tangine saying McLaren 1-2 again. Israel in the house, Turkey as well. Tariffs on Ferrari team radio. I don't know how would we apply tariffs? What would the tariff be? What would the tariff be for us? I have no idea. Hopefully we'll get some more weather predictions. I mean, it has rained already, so we shouldn't see any of the fires. I was thinking for the thumbnail, just do like track on fire. What if we don't collect tariffs? Are we then going to be in breach? Should we be tariffing every new viewer? If it rains less than 12mm expected the case. Not a huge amount of rain expected. Welcome Pro Street. Let me guess, an F1. More affordable to attend the races. Wow, the Japanese are here with their flags. Goodness me, it's like I mean, it looks like state sponsored, but it's not. There's a lot of synchronized flag waving. Very obedient flag waving going on. Professor says there's 50% precipitation. Okay, welcome Rory Thompson. Tariff on all penguins. By the way, Lance Stroll in last place. He's been having such a good season. I think Max is probably staying in front. Norris, Notorious. So I wonder what will happen here if Max defends, whether Piastri will get past Norris. Goodness, Fernando Alonso looks ancient now. Welcome T6. Are you late? You're not late. You're just in time. You're just in time. Remember to hit your like on the way in. Let me leave a message. What should we say? Remember to hit like on the way in. Boom. Let's pin that. Welcome GT Sean. Anyone think Checo can take Stroll's seat? Well, apparently he's been contacted, but he would say that. You would say that whether he'd been contacted or not. You'd be like, I've been contacted by so many teams. They all want me. That's what you would say. Satkesh Fedin saying Checo is a good driver. He'll be joining Cadillac. I think Checo to Cadillac. And then, well, surely Cadillac are going to pull out of WEC. There's no point Cadillac doing WEC and F1. And it'd be such a shame if we pull out in WEC to be a back running F1 team. I mean, Cadillac could be absolutely pants in F1. I mean, back in the day, you would be. When you went like that. Ought to have almost 25 years since Michael Schumacher won his first title with Ferrari in Suzuka Epic Race. First of many, first of 7. Doing to crash, yeah. Bro just like tried to do the iRacing strat and leave the DRS open. Didn't work out. Did not work out. Helmets are being put on. We're ready to go. Yes, very close now. Lawson to Tsunoda. What if Lawson and Tsunoda come together, by the way? Because surely there's no love lost there. They both think they're faster than each other. It's very personal. And it would be incredible if they came together. What do you think is going to happen in turn 1? Well, I think Verstappen may hold it, and I just wonder what will happen behind. I mean, you can't really go side by side through the S's. So if we see the McLarens try to go side by side behind Verstappen, it could all end in tears, really. I mean, it could all end in tears into turn 1. That's a very, you know, kind of tantalising thing about it. Ricciardo for Cadillac. Rocco Lawson is not faster than Yuki. Well, we will see. We will see. I've never been to... Actually, I've never been to Japan. So I've never been to Suzuka. Maybe we will go. Ronda, dollars on Lawson to crash early. Well, Lawson does know this circuit. He has outqualified Tsunoda. And the Red Bull is difficult to drive. It is Yuki Tsunoda's home race. Doesn't seem like the pressure is going to get to him. Tyres coming in now from Stroll and Doohan on softs. What the hell? Stroll and Doohan on softs. Ocon and Bortoleto on hards. Rest on medium. Okay. Max's tyres will go off first. Yeah, I mean, I think they will overtake him in the first few laps. The white livery does look so good. Is it going to get dirty during the race? The new Imperial Highness Princess of Mikasa is there. Super excited. D6, I've been to Japan, but the problem is I didn't visit Suzuka. Why not? Although I did go to Interlagos. I did go to Sao Paulo and I didn't go to Interlagos. I went to the true home of racing in Sao Paulo, which is the Sambadrome. Here's the weather report from United Vestige. Humidity 78%. Precipitation 40%. Okay, so we've got between 20 and 50%, that seems. Cars need to be on the yellow-orange line. Yeah, that's their grid slot. And the formation lap is underway, by the way, as you can see. Here we go. NHL player comparisons. Maybe you should do F1 driver comparisons. There's an idea for a channel. Alex went to Vegas for this year's race. Very nice. Is Vegas, wasn't it on a 3-year contract? This year's already the 3rd. It makes me feel like I'm getting old. Like I remember Formula 1 before Vegas. That's not, granted, that's not a particularly like long window, but I do remember it. Okay, as you can see, everyone, formation lap is underway. Professor saying track looks like a little bit slippery. Maybe going on the soft tyres might be inspired. Maybe that'll be inspired. What they're doing with the Dutch GP racing. Michael says, Blossom is such a beautiful country. Have been to Japan 5 times. No Suzuka. Guys, what's going on here? Is Suzuka out of the way or something? See, says, gentle reminder, no ill wishes. Yeah, no black magic, no casting of spells in the chat, please. Cast those spells in private, we say. So, Verstappen is lining up to the grid slot. So, way ahead of the footage. Suzuka's in the middle of nowhere. So we're going to find out very soon what is going to happen. And I reckon the timing is going to be about, I would say, 15, 20 seconds ahead. So if you want the fastest timing in the world, I think we may have it. Chai saying there are some puddles on the track. That's coming from the Dutch live blog. Let's go indeed. So the standings are going to go first. I'm going to have to watch the stand. No, I'm not going to watch standings. I'm not going to watch standings. You're going to see what happens first. So if you are watching and haven't hit the like button, hit the like button right now. Let's have a nice boost on the likes. Welcome back, Snowline. Good to see you. And I'm going to catch up, basically. Hopefully the grass isn't going to be on fire, but we will see. So if you're just joining us, it is almost time for the 2025 Japanese Grand Prix. Very aggressive pointed starts from Verstappen and Lando Norris. They are pointing at each other. So they're gambling here. They're pointed at each other. And as I see Lance Stroll, last car to make his way to the grid slot. And I will let you know what I see as the marshal does not wave the green flag and now does very stylishly and walks away. So it's 4 red lights, 5 red lights. So red lights go out at Japan. The 2 front runners very aggressively start, so Verstappen is able to chop across into the lead. Lando might try and go around the outside, but doesn't. Piastri has to defend from Charles Leclerc. And there is some side-by-side action behind. I think Lewis Hamilton may have lost out. He looks to have been swallowed up a little bit. And still some side-by-side action through the S's. I think Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso going side-by-side. But no major drama there at the start. Lando gambled a little bit on trying to get ahead of Max Verstappen. It didn't happen. Max Verstappen was able to chop across, and it is a nice, clear start here. And Verstappen, incredibly, seems to be eking out a little bit of a gap here already. So Verstappen looking supreme. Welcome, John Hone. Michael lives 20 with... Michael's just got all the tracks on tap. Welcome, Craig, as well. Good to see you. Welcome, Kira, for the subscription. So at the moment, as you can see, not a lot of chopping and changing there. Hamilton was able to keep his position. And Gasly trying to go outside, round the outside of Fernando Alonso on the exit of Spoon is very brave. They'll be side by side in 130R. They are side by side, but Gasly has to back out. So Fernando Alonso not playing games with the Alpine of Gasly. Shade almost of Fernando Alonso on Michael Schumacher at 130R back in the day, 20 years ago. Has Fernando Alonso been racing in F1 for 20... He's taken a couple of years out, but he's basically been racing for 25 years, hasn't he? Did he start in 2000 or 2001? When did Fernando Alonso start? The guy is just ancient. He's raced a different generation. It's like how crocodiles are like billions of years old. They're just on a different level. Like they've tussled with the dinosaurs. Only driver to have driven a V10, 2001. So 24 years, but he's had a couple out. But you know what I mean. MS Studios a bit Russell's just going to come out of nowhere and take P3 or higher. Well, I want to keep an eye on Kimi Antonelli actually here. Kimi Antonelli, my pick to maybe sneak onto the podium. I feel like he's got nothing to lose. He's having a very impressive season in my books. John says, Alk no so, the missed experience on the track. Yes, indeed. So, Verstappen is 7/10 ahead to Norris and then Piastri and then Leclerc, Russell, Antonelli. As the field snakes through Sector 1, Lance Stroll is ahead of Bortoletto. Hamilton's holding on to Hadjar on the hard. Yeah, Hamilton is the highest running hard tyre runner. And it looks like Ocon's on a set of scrubbed hards, which is interesting. This track has a cross bridge. Yeah, this track is actually a figure of 8 circuit. Kimi Antonelli did go deep at Casio and rejoined. Now, did he keep a position by doing that? He locked up. No, because... No, I don't think so. Because Hadjar was too far behind him. Is the crossroads section not massive hazard? It's not like Wreckfest. There is a bridge. They don't... I see what you mean there. It probably looks a little more dramatic on the track map than it is in reality. Yeah, very technical circuit. Not a lot of room for breathing, really. We've got one real straight. Everything else isn't that straight, to be honest. Even though a lot of sections are flat. But I think it's the least amount of time on the brake, if I remember. What's the perfect track for a tiny smart car? Probably Brands Hatch Indy, I would say. So Verstappen's still in the lead and has extended that actually. Even though he's been complaining about his downshifts, he has been extending it. I don't know whether DRS is open yet. So Verstappen complaining about the upshifts. But if DRS were to open now, Piastri would really benefit. Because Norris is not currently in DRS of Verstappen. Why did the possibility of crash just increase? I don't know. I'm not keeping track of the crash possibilities. Oh, you don't know what lap we're on? Oh, yeah, you don't, actually. Hang on a second. Hang on. That's a very good point. That's my bad. That radio needs to... Sorry, let me just sort this out, because you are correct. You don't know what lap you're on, and that must be very disconcerting. There we go. How about that?
Okay, crack on.
Now we got it. 49 laps to go. You placed a radio board and track mat incorrect just to annoy you specifically. Okay, so Verstappen is actually extending the gap still on the medium tyre. 1.4 seconds now. Do we remember Verstappen streaking away at Suzuka before? 20-second lead. I mean, this is pretty ominous and weird. Because McLaren have the best car, right? But Satko says this track is the best to test the real talent. Oh my god, it was so close between Gasly and Alonso. I tell you what, Gasly could have tried to go around the outside, which would have been, if Gasly had gone around the outside at 130i, it would have been one of the greatest moves of all time. And Lawson had a moment and let Tsunoda through. So Lawson had a bit of a moment at Spoon, and Tsunoda got through. So Yuki Tsunoda is ahead of Liam Lawson here, which means Lawson might be trying to overtake. Carlos Sainz made a move, must be on Fernando Alonso. Was Carlos Sainz making a move on a Aston Martin? Don't know who that was. I know it was Nico Hulkenberg. But interesting again to see Alex Albon much better placed than Carlos Sainz here. It's not good for Carlos Sainz's legacy. Shai says, I'd argue that McLaren are doing an excellent job of keeping up with Verstappen. And Professor saying McLaren probably managing tyres, so maybe playing the long game. Thing is, if they're managing tyres, you've got to have a lot of discipline between them, because that'll mean there'll be margin. And Piastri might go, hang on, Lando's slowing me down here. So keep an eye on the team radio, McLaren. See what they say. Watch Max tyres will cook. Those McLarens need cleaner, warmer air to get the peak performance. Okay. As Hamilton went for a move on Hajar into turn 1. Very nice move. And that is on the hard tyres. So you do need to run 2 different compounds of tyre in this race. It'll be interesting what Doohan and Stroll do. Suzuki Morden, Kirith in chat. Why does the track glitch? Just timings all the way from Japan. Is there lots of overtaking opportunities in this track? Well, Fernando Alonso would say 130R is an overtaking opportunity. Into turn 1, definitely. Into turn 1. The hairpin as well. Turn 11. Spoon. The straight after Spoon. So, depends how creative you are. How is Mercedes doing? Well, Russell is kind of keeping touch with Leclerc here. Might be just trying to stay out of the dirty air. Might be hampered by the dirty air. But the interesting one for me now is going to be Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Antonelli. So keep an eye on those lap times between Antonelli and Hamilton. Now Hamilton's been unleashed. And actually this lap, Hamilton was faster. So was a little bit faster. Welcome to Semlich. Because if Hamilton catches up with Antonelli, maybe Leclerc has some decent pace in this race. And I think it would be very exciting to see, which is something I've wanted to see for a long time, kind of a Red Bull, I'm not going to have both, but a Red Bull, both McLarens, both Ferraris and both Mercedes, kind of in the mix, genuinely in the mix, where strategy can really make the difference. Someone going on a very different strategy could do it. Kimi Antonelli, I think, with the fastest Sector 1, so responding to the threat of Hamilton. Max struggling with downshift. Yeah, Max not happy with upshift, downshifts, all of the shifts. Meanwhile, will Alex Albon get past Hajar? Maybe Hajar's struggling a little bit here. Verstappen reporting that the shifts are a little bit better now. Maybe it's just a thing he says to kind of... just part of the vibe. Fire up. Why were people claiming this Red Bull car was slow? Well, because the McLaren was doing really well. Remember, Verstappen is second in the championship. Like, he's ahead of Piastri in the championship. And again, a fastest lap for Verstappen, who is now 2 seconds ahead. So Verstappen is 2 seconds ahead. Is he cooking the tyres or not? This might be a bit worrying for Verstappen here. Yeah, when they say the Red Bull's slow, they mean relative to the fastest. They mean relative to where it was a few years ago, being by far the fastest car on the grid. They don't mean it's become a tractor. If anyone's saying that, they're just doing it for clicks. Although people are saying it's more down to Max now. It's maybe Max is getting a bit more credit than the car was getting previously. That could be the case. Saka says the car isn't bad, just McLaren next level. Lamborghini started as track to come. He still make tractors. I did go with Lamborghini to Jerez for the Super Trofeo World Finals. Didn't see any tractors there. Is Verstappen going to go for an undercut? Verstappen is building the gap needed, potentially. Well, he's not. He's protecting himself from an undercut, basically. If he has enough margin, he protects himself from an undercut. Because the car in front can undercut at any time. Like if you were half a second ahead, you know, not 2 seconds, your undercut would still be effective because you would have that lap on the new tyre. So I would say he's being protected from an undercut. Yeah, set the lap record here. Beat Sebastian Vettel's lap record. So let's see what Hamilton's doing. 33.9. Again, Anthony just a 34 dead basically. So not too much in it. Hamilton catching very slightly. I mean, you say that he's only 2 seconds behind, so he only needs to catch slightly. And Piastri was dropping off a little bit that lap. DRS must be open, so surprise Piastri. Maybe Piastri here. If you're Piastri, it's a classic Piastri position where McLaren are going to tell you just don't do anything silly. Norris being told there's possible rain lap 20 class 1. One lap of class 1. But they're like hurricanes, aren't they? Lap 20. Is that going to affect? I mean, if it's one lap, it shouldn't affect really anything because you're not going to go on to Inters anyway. Welcome Ezequiel Brito. If you are watching and not subscribed, do hit that subscribe button. Yeah, but class 1 is like nothing, isn't it? It's class 5. That's when you want to be worried. I mean, Ferrari saying no rain expected for the next half an hour. Is that the same as rain is expected in 20 laps? But Ferrari have done it in a very cryptic way. Ah, no rain for the next half an hour. I wonder what will happen after that. McLaren World Drivers' Championship seems almost a certainty. But at the moment, would Verstappen overtake Norris in Championship? No, Verstappen would get closer though, wouldn't he? Wouldn't Verstappen make it within 6 points? So, right, there's a Aston Martin in the pits off the softs. That'll be Lance Stroll. So Lance Stroll has come off the softs onto the hard tyre. So I wonder whether Lance Stroll is going to go to the end here on the hard. By the way, I feel like we need more pit stops in Formula 1. I feel like there should be 3-stop, 4-stop races. Just completely mix it up. Knowing Ferrari, they're probably going to go to Inters. Yeah, Ferrari putting the full wets on. I mean, anything's possible with Ferraris. That's a great thing about Ferrari strategy. It's like, you know when they had that goldfish on Twitch play Pokemon? Like, it would just swim around and it like completed the game. It's a bit like Ferrari strategy, that. There's definitely a parallel. Lawson overtaking Yuki would be boss. Well, Lawson gave up the position to Tsunoda and he's dropped quite a bit off. Albon, these shifts are so bad. What have we done to them? Okay, can you be a bit more specific? Yeah, the same been talking about. So Alex Albon is taking a leaf out of Max Verstappen's book there. Such a good first corner at Suzuka. The way you just sort of tip in. You kind of you tip into the corner and then you start the braking. It's like absolutely phenomenal. The way you have to maximise track limits and the S's, it's absolutely supreme. The drivers will genuinely be enjoying this, I think, compared to some of the other circuits like Madrid. Madrid looks horrendous. Madrid is just, what have they done in Spain? Absolute nonsense. Golden, whoever's at last place should just retire. He's not catching where he has just pitted. Lando Vestiga, 10 laps are... And yeah, Ferrari's, yeah, but Ferrari didn't say it's going to rain. They just said it's not going to rain for 30 minutes. Or no rain expected for 30 minutes. Is a little bit cryptic. Welcome, Atmospheric. Russell right on Leclerc. Yes, within half a second now. So Russell going to put on the pressure. Now, I predicted that the McLarens would really overtake Verstappen within a few laps, and that hasn't happened here. And I wonder, what would be great for Verstappen is if a lot of people behind pit earlier. So if someone on the medium tyres pits now in the midfield earlier than expected, that will cause everyone in the midfield to pit to prevent being undercut. And that will open up a nice gap for Verstappen to pit early. I mean, obviously, if Verstappen pits early, he is at risk from a safety car, where the others would get a cheap pickup. They're not going to crash on the crossroads. It doesn't work like that. That wouldn't be FIA Grade 5 certified. MS Verstappen definitely going to push the tyres. Well, we'll see. Keep an eye out. It looks like he might be, or maybe the McLarens are really maintaining the gap at 2 seconds. Look at Lance Stroll there, going straight through on the crossroads. Absolutely ridiculous. Very dangerous. Your vision of this circuit must be insane. All the grass is on fire, so we're just racing in hell. And every lap there's a risk of a 400-mile-an-hour collision. I mean, I kind of rate it, to be fair. So Piastri and Norris just catching there a little bit. Well, actually, no. Well, Piastri's dropped off Norris, but we've seen this before with Piastri. He's pretty comfortable at dropping off when he knows he's not going to get the approval to overtake. So there's no point him stressing about it. Lance Stroll's visor is foggy from all the jam. Lance Stroll been eating jam sandwiches. Why didn't they water the grass? They did water the grass. In fact, they were considering just burning all the grass, but they said it might not look aesthetically that nice. Norris being told this is a rear thermal limiting race. So if it's a rear thermal limiting race, is that just about keeping heat in the tyres? So could we see people go long? We are hopefully not going to see people go super long. I mean, Lance Stroll, let's hope he's not going to be underweight at the end with some super skinny hard tyres. Look to be scrubbed. They are scrubbed, which I think they are. Interesting they've gone for a scrub set. Yeah, and it also rained as well. So the gap at the front staying steady. What about Hamilton, Antonelli? Antonelli now able to a 33.7. Look at Piastri there. 0.4 quicker than Verstappen on the last lap. So Piastri clearly has the pace. Dothan going to pit in next 2 laps. We will see. So Lance Stroll pitting very early, but Doohan hasn't. And still not pitting here. Welcome, Crazy Aid. Yeah, Stroll has boxed on that soft to hard strategy. What are Stroll lap times? Very slow. Lance Stroll is having a terrible race here, I think, just objectively. I don't think there's any defensive for Lance Stroll. Anyone remember how the world was like 30 years ago? Like before phones and everything? Like, what we're doing now is so in the future. Like 30 years ago, you would have got up early, you would have watched it on a tiny TV, like a tiny TV in the dark, probably. And now we're all watching on phones and big TVs and laptops. It's very different. Like, what would I have been doing 30 years ago? What if I was? Yeah, I don't. It's too early. Hamilton, I think, well, it was 2 seconds the gap. Now it's 1.5. So he is maybe little by little kind of eking it out. It might be that Hamilton's being a bit more consistent. Remember, Hamilton is on that hard tyre. So if Hamilton can go longer, Hamilton will presumably inherit the lead of this race at some point. And Hamilton will be able to finish strong. Tiny TV, yeah. Some races were not even broadcast in the 90s. Yeah, maybe it wouldn't have been broadcasted. Watching on a 34cm vacuum tube TV in like square format. Apparently the pit window, Amazon say, is lap 19 to 25. So apparently we're going to hit the pit window exactly about... Well, I can't remember when the rain is due. Actually, leading a Britpop band. Maybe that's what I would have been doing. Murray Walker commentary. But like, if I'd really wanted to do this 30 years ago, it just would not have been possible. So, pretty cool. Would everyone probably go to the pub? But would you be able to go to the pub at 5:30 on a Sunday morning? I might go to the pub later and have a breakfast. Yeah, you'd have to have a TV show. So we're basically waiting here for the first pit stop because there is no movement really going on track. Like, this is, out of the opening races, this is the least kind of activity on circuit we have seen. 1:30 a.m. there. Welcome Terry Hollis and Dutch. Yeah. I mean, can the track catch fire? Yeah, then we'll be in VR. Everyone will be in VR. You'll say hello to each other in VR. You'll all be here with your avatars. We'll be here for that. I could do this in my Quest, actually, probably. Couldn't I? Could I do it in my Quest? Yeah, I could. Doohan does box and goes onto the hard tyre. So Doohan able to go quite a bit longer than Lance Stroll. So we've seen those soft tyre runners come in. Apple Vision Pro. Maybe we'll do a GoFundMe. I mean, that definitely is going to be the future. The future is going to be you'll watch this in VR and there'll be a drone in the sky. So it won't, I don't even think it will be CGI. I think there'll just be a drone in the sky. There'll be multiple drones, but there'll be like one big drone, big zoomed out camera, and you'll be able to select any car and go and look at them. And we'll all be sat there in our VR headsets. Stroll now only 23 seconds behind. Welcome, Jay Ross. Do you think Yuki will score points in the Red Bull today? Yes. I think so. I think we'll get past Gasly, Alonso and Behrman. Oh my goodness, one of the Williams was off. Was that Carlos Sainz who's had a slow lap? Or was it Albon? Not sure who it was. 10:29 in San Diego. Very nice. So who is going to box first off the mediums? Who's going to do it? Come on. F1 commentary used to come in one flavour 30 years ago. That was Murray Walker. You had your flavour and it was absolutely fine. You didn't need anything else. Suzuka's a great track with a great history, but it must be said, with one DRS zone combined with these modern cars, the quality of racing. So the thing is, Suzuka's produced great racing in the past. And I think when the cars were a bit harder to drive, there was a lot of variance in the lap time. Like, if you hooked it up, you were really rewarded. If you didn't hook it up on any lap, you were really punished. Then you add in there the cars being more unreliable and also more pit stops. It just came together for more exciting racing. So now we have super reliable cars. Like, no one's worried here about Verstappen kind of driving too hard and blowing the engine. Like, that's no one in the world is worried about that. The cars are much easier to drive, even though they have no traction control. They're just easier to drive. I'm sure there's all sorts of throttle mapping and clever stuff that basically substitutes for that. And they're much more aero dependent, so they can't actually really follow other cars. And I think F1's going to be in a bit of a mess about that next season because of all the changes they've made to aero to try and encourage overtaking and active aero and all this kind of stuff. They're getting themselves in a bit of a twist. Vlatka 30 years ago, I'd be watching the race on TV. 30 years from now, I should be able to beam myself up to the track. Yeah, virtual grandstands. Dark Cloud says Murray Walker and James Hunt. Now it's just me. How times have changed. What downgrades? So we are waiting for the first cars to dive into the pit lane. But I reckon Stefano Domenicali will be sitting next to the princess in the grandstand, be thinking, hang on. Please, something happen. I bet he'll push the button underneath to set the grass on fire or something. Like a sweet Scarlet Rose. Professor Active Aero sounds like an insane concept, but it'll probably be banned in 27. I cannot see the implementation being fair on that. Norris being told to stay out. Is it raining now? Is the rain coming? Why is Norris being told to stay out? These cars really need heavy braking zones and low speed corners put on a show. What you mean, so that the traction coming out of there? It was Carlos Sainz who went off. Welcome Anthony and Juan Miranda. See the Stroll and Doohan battle going on. No rain, just tears. Just sweat. So it is 1.5 still at the front of the GP. And what's the gap from Verstappen to Hamilton? It is 13 seconds. So the top 7 drivers 13 seconds apart. So Verstappen gaining a little bit less than a second a lap. Or has, like I said, a bit less than a second lap advantage over Hamilton. If you kind of extrapolate it like that. Welcome, Grazina S. Yeah, Carlos Sainz just completely cut the chicane. Looks like the closest water is out in the ocean. No, the closest water's in the lake. Landon being told the pace is really strong, so McLaren may be feeling confident here. And he's definitely dropping Piastri a little bit. Maybe Piastri can't hang with the pace. Russell being told to box. Russell boxes here, so here we go. George Russell, the first to box, goes from mediums to hards, presumably, and comes out just ahead of Liam Lawson with a 3-second gap to Tsunoda. So maybe Mercedes think that Tsunoda is going to box and Gasly are going to box soon, which means that Russell's not going to be held up. Welcome 1,000 people watching. So Verstappen being told to push now. So it looks like the pit stops will happen now a little bit because Russell's gone. So maybe Leclerc will have to box to cover that off. But this could all end up in a bit of a mess. If the midfield... This is what I've always wondered in these sort of races in the modern day. If the midfield is like, you know what, we're doing our own race here. We're not racing the front runners. If they decide not to box because they want a different strat, you could have the front runners dropping in there and basically getting held up, which could be quite interesting. Russ in the pits, yep. Cornering speeds are too similar. Is it because at this stage of the regulations, the cars are... They've all learned from each other. They've all seen, oh, that works well, let's do that. Apart from Williams with their floor. Piastri box as well. Yeah, correct. Piastri in the box. So that'll be interesting if there's a potential undercut. Is he going to come out ahead of Alfonso? That will be interesting. Piastri Looks like he's just ahead of Alfonso there on the exit. And also on that hard tyre. What was the stop like for the McLaren? Ah, very tidy stop there. Very tidy stop for McLaren. This may work out for Hamilton. Welcome, Size X. Yeah. Because Hamilton is going to inherit the lead here for sure. And go a bit longer. And will Hamilton basically pit into clean air? So if Hamilton pits into clean air, no further investigation for Carlos Sainz, by the way. Welcome, Soldat. 1,200 people watching, 120 likes. We know what to do, chat. We can do it. Is Verstappen going to box or Norris? Looks like Verstappen's boxing. Verstappen boxes, and so does Lando. So we are seeing front runners box here before the pack. Leclerc boxes. Surely Antonelli boxes as well. No, he doesn't. Antonelli leads for the first time in his career a Formula 1 Grand Prix. Round of applause, everyone, for Kimi Antonelli here. Leading the Grand Prix. First of many, I predict. And Hamilton's in second. So Verstappen stays ahead of Lando Norris. Does Norris come out ahead of the Bearman? He does. And interestingly, Piastri and Norris are now split by Bearman. And Russell is trying to get past. Has got past Sonoda. Needs to get past Gasly now as well. So that range of pit stops has happened. So Russell will be hoping for his sake he can get past Gasly. And then I wonder if Fernando Alonso is going to stay out. What does box mean? It means goes into the pit box, aka pits. For changing tyres, there's no refueling anymore. Norris being told he forced me out. That might be Bearman into turn 1, I predict. Looks like Piastri has got past Bearman into Spoon. So the only traffic left now for these front runners here is Fernando Alonso. For Charles Leclerc and George Russell, that could be interesting. Norris a big spill out of the pits. Let's have a look. Came in. Super quick stop. Oh, you know what? Norris was side by side with Verstappen. Oh my god, it wasn't Bearman. Well, stewards are going to have an interesting time here because Norris came out side by side. Verstappen definitely looking in the mirror. And I think Verstappen's going to get a penalty here. Verstappen's saying he drove himself into the grass. But I think Norris was entitled to racing room on the pit exit. I think Verstappen, if they want to give a penalty here, they can give one to Verstappen. This is going to be interesting. Because Norris it wasn't side by side equal, but Norris had some part of his car alongside. Verstappen was in the mirrors and basically did force Verstappen on the grass. Norris saying he saw me alongside, I was easily alongside. I think the McLaren had a stop that was a second a lap quicker than the Red Bull. Yeah, penalty to Ocon. I think Verstappen should get a penalty for that. And I also think, having raced a lot of Suzuka myself in Sims, I think Verstappen knows if he gives Norris a space there, Norris will overtake him into turn 1. Because Norris will have the inside line in turn 1. Verstappen also, he pressed the pit limiter off too early. There's no way that was legal. So now Verstappen knows he's in the wrong and is trying to scrabble around. Because if Norris came off pit limiter, that's a black and white. That's a black and white too early. Now Verstappen is capable enough of listening to that. And Norris might have been desperate enough to come off. Oh, did Norris come off the limiter too early? Well, that'll be a slam dunk speeding in the pits. Oh my god. Oh my days. Or did Norris play some 5D chess here and try and essentially give Verstappen a penalty? A lot can happen in this one. Interested for your thoughts, chat. Chai said Verstappen was half a car length ahead. Yeah, but that's maybe not the most accurate way of portraying it. I think you mean that the front of Norris's car was halfway alongside Verstappen's car. As Fernando Alonso hasn't pitted, by the way, and that's going to be annoying George Russell, surely. How many seconds did Max get? I think, well, firstly, this should be investigated. If this is not investigated, because it would be great for the championship if Verstappen wins this race. So if it's not even investigated, I'm blowing the whistle on this one. Dark Cloud just looked to replay to wait and see. Dark Cloud, what are your thoughts though? What do you think? PD, Norris unsafe release. Is it an unsafe release? The thing is, I don't think it's an unsafe release because you're right at the end of the pit lane. Oh, 5D chess. 4-second pit stop for the Bearmeister. Not great. Now behind Bortoletto. Russell, when I saw, was stuck behind Fernando Alonso, who has pitted now. So Alonso has pitted. Rude says unsafe release for McLaren. So is it actually an unsafe? Is Verstappen saying, "Whoa, look, Lando went all over the grass. What an unsafe! He's tried to rotate him on the grass. Unsafe release." Absolute scenes, by the way. If that's a penalty for Norris, and that would be great for the championship. So, I think it has to be investigated. Let's get that investigation started, everyone. And I wonder if it's going to be a penalty for Lando. I'm not aware that an investigation has been kicked off. Pit exit incident. You see there, pit exit incident involving cars. You can see there. So that will be that one. That is being investigated. Yeah. Car number 4 involved. So it is being investigated. It's noted. It's noted. Honestly, you guys make no sense. Albon says ridiculous. Albon being told, "Trust me, bro. It was worse before." Albon getting a "trust me, bro" from his engineers. Did Antonelli pit? No, Antonelli's on a mad one. Antonelli's my pick here for the podium. Just keep an eye on the lap times, because Antonelli 33 dead. You know, he's half a second off Verstappen, a lap. But we will see. Average British Max hater. Saka, let my boy Max drive. Let's see what happens. So the incident has been noted. Oh, investigation. No further investigation. No further investigation. Ooh. Well, let's see what Lando feels. And Verstappen might laugh on the radio and say they're up to their dirty tricks. Classic Lando or something. He might twist the life a little bit. Michael Massey, the special guest race director. Why don't cars refuel? Too dangerous. Alex Albon's still having a moan. You know what, Albon? I say just deal with it, bro. Just deal with it. Hulkenberg saying his strategy's been quite costly as well. So not an unsafe release for McLaren. The thing is, an unsafe release, it would mean that Verstappen would have needed to have taken avoiding action. And the irony is Verstappen just didn't take any avoiding action. That's what Lando's upset about. Carlos Sainz locking up, going through the Casio triangle. Why is Hamilton not pitting? Because he's on the hard tyre. The bigger question is, why is Antonelli not pitting? Who's law in the race? Liam Lawson. So we've had this swathe of pit stops. Now, I think, unfortunately, Verstappen, Norris and Piastri are going to go to the end here. We're halfway through the race. I reckon they're going to go to the end. And I would love it if they had to do more pit stops. So hopefully the rain is going to come down. What about the Hamilton strategy? Hamilton is 33. Oh, Hamilton's lap time 33.2 is a second behind. Norris, they just said no further action. Just means to have to overtake him on track. I'm interested to see what Lando will respond to that. It's a bit of a weirdly phrased message. Means like, oh, we'll have to overtake him on track. Like, oh, we tried our dirty thing, but it didn't work. We'll have to overtake him legally, Lando. The optics of that message aren't great. I think they mean like, oh, there's always a chance when you pit, they'll mess up their pit stop. Well, I think everyone's going to be doing a one stop here. So, it's just Hamilton. Antonelli is the youngest driver to ever lead a Formula 1 race. I'm telling you, this guy is the real deal. This guy is the real deal. Future world champion. Mark my words. And I don't say that lightly. I think Kimi Antonelli is more likely to win a world championship than Charles Leclerc. Silence from Norris on the radio. Bro is not happy. I mean, you could say is Stroll going to be doing a two-stop here and go on softs again, or mediums, which seems like not a fantastic strategy. Satkesh agrees. I just feel like Anthony just doesn't really care, which you kind of need. He has that he doesn't care. And I think he'll overtake drivers and he'll put drivers in bad positions because he doesn't. I just don't think he cares. I don't think he really understands. Like, you think about. I feel like George Russell is the kind of guy who would really overthink whether to do a difficult move on someone. Like he'd be like, "Oh, I don't like that person. I'm going to do a difficult move." Or like, "Oh, I want to get a favour back from that person in the future, so I won't do a dive bomb here." I feel like George Russell probably brings a lot of politics into play. I feel like Kimi Antonelli has none of that, which is very refreshing. How can refueling be too dangerous? Well, you got a lot of fuel going in at a very fast rate into cars that are flammable, and people end up on fire. So all the mechanics have to wear like bigger fireproof stuff, you know, big full face helmets. Camera people can get burnt. You can't have journalists roaming up and down the pit lane. But I think it was great. I mean, if this is a 4-stop race with refueling, it'd be absolutely mad. Bit of a cheeky one from Lando, I reckon. Kimi probably thinks he's still playing PlayStation. Yeah, I think he'll do some PlayStation moves. We saw in Melbourne. Welcome Max and Surakia. Welcome Stephen A as well. Can Hamilton go all the way on his hards? No, not allowed. He needs to pit. He needs to pit. You need to run 2 different compounds of tyres. Yeah, refueling is a safety concern. I mean, do you know that all of the cars use actually different fuel? Like, there's no, like, standard fuel. Like, they all partner with Shell and Eon or whatever, Exxon. And they all use different fuel. Like, don't you think that's pretty mad? Like, there's performance in the fuel. I mean, back in the day, you used to have refueling and you could choose different tyre manufacturers. You could just be like, oh, we want to have a tyre from this manufacturer. Isn't that unfair? It's what? It's just like you can run a different chassis. You can run a different aero package. You can run whichever engine you want. You can run whichever fuel you want. So maybe Red Bull's success was down to the fuel. I mean, when you think of Ferrari's success, you think of Shell, don't you? Now, I wouldn't even stop at a Shell. I'd spit on a Shell garage. Instead, I would go to... I don't know. Who was it? Petronas? Did Petronas do the fuel for Mercedes? BP. Who did BP do the fuel for? Carlos Sainz weaving around, by the way, trying to keep off Isaac Hadjar. Hadjar's going to try and go around the outside and does it. Great move from Hadjar there. Carlos Sainz did not make that easy. It's a little bit twitchy from Hadjar, but Hadjar gets past Carlos Sainz. And Liam Lawson going a long way here. Liam Lawson going a long way. So Lawson's going to be on the Bearman strat from China. Lawson's going to come back pretty fast, I would say. Colour Science defend into 130R. Was he slow on 130R? Can't see. Yes, downward shell. Mobile 1. Mobile 1 was McLaren, wasn't it? Hamilton does pit. So Antonelli somehow has gone longer than Hamilton. And I feel like Antonelli is being quite consistent here. If you look, his last lap is only a tenth slower than his fastest lap. So he's only a tenth slower than his fastest lap. Leibu just got here how Yuki's doing. Well, Yuki, we need the pit stops to shake out really. Or Hamilton comes in. Mediums on that Ferrari. 2.2 second stop. You can't put a sandwich on the podium. What was the point? Yeah, you can't put a sandwich on the podium. That's one of the rules in Formula 1. No, you go to the podium and there's a sandwich in a red circle with a cross. No sandwiches. You can't just go up there and have your post-race sandwich. Will softs last? I wouldn't. I mean, Lance Stroll's in the box. Lance Stroll, what are you doing, sir? You're on the move again. Mediums. So Lance Stroll with the worst strategy known to man. Oh, Hamilton with a big lock-up just before he came into the pits. So using everything out of those tyres. And now Kimi Antonelli pits. And so Verstappen resumes the lead of the race. So what we're going to see now, we're going to see Antonelli come onto mediums. Sorry, come onto hards. And he's going to come out about 7 seconds behind Russell. So Antonelli is 19 seconds behind the leaders, but his tyres are going to be 10 laps fresher. So if there's a point of the race where there's a cliff edge on the tyres and the other drivers go over it, Antonelli could benefit. That's a gamble. Arguably, he's not lost too much here because he's stayed out ahead of Hamilton. However, Hamilton is now on the medium tyre. But he hasn't lost any positions here, has he? So let's see what happened. They've put Anthony on a different strat, and at most, they've risked a P6 for a P7, I would say. So pretty smart. Welcome, George94. New member as well with the M badge. Welcome back. Hadjar overtakes spotted. Hadjar overtakes Lawson. Oh my goodness. Hadjar ahead of Lawson. Surely Hadjar should have been put in the Red Bull ahead of Liam Lawson then. Remember though, very different strategies. But this ain't good for Lawson, I think. Because Lawson is going to box, go on hard tyres, and end up a long way behind. Liam Lawson is going to end up behind Nico Hulkenberg. So either Liam Lawson is going to have an incredible race here. Is he going to box? No. Either Lawson's going to have an incredible race and overtake a lot of people, or he's going to have a really bad result. There's no middle ground. Welcome to new subscribers, Alex Durantes and Jimmy. Alex says, no, is there, of the 2,000 people watching, are there any Lance Stroll fans? Let us know. And if you are new here, do hit the subscribe button. You'll see this thing move. This thing. And also hit the like button as well. 2,000 people watching, 162 likes. In fact, let's do a nations check. Let us know where in the world you're watching from. Has the audience changed as the sun moves over? Let us know, everyone, where in the world you are joining us from. As Verstappen 1.4 seconds ahead. I mean, what an incredible result this would be if Verstappen does win. Championship on if he does. Swap from Singapore, Croatia. Here we go. Croatia, Turkey, California, Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, Netherlands, Maldives, Netherlands, India, Natasha, Netherlands, Roberto, Mexico, Dark Cloud, Australia, Greece, India, California, Australia, Philippines, Sweden, North Korea, United States, USA, Canada, Sarah Albronda from the Netherlands, J. Ross from the Philippines. Look at the Philippines come in. Misha Johansson from New Zealand. Max from Indiana. Bilal Ahmed from Pakistan. Trias, Greece. Thunderstorm, Belgium. Maribel from Germany. Angelica Oosthuizen from South Africa. Civic Dedit from Swaziland. De Fatima Zara from Morocco. Wow, this is Taiwan in here. This is one of the most global we've ever had. This time zone does crazy things. George Russell cutting the Cassie chicane. The rise of Rihanna, Lando Norris, biggest fan, England. Canada in the house. Shane Gawarden from Norway. Transformer Philippines. George from Austria. Tier from Malaysia. I think Philippines. Welcome Tam Fam Hoang, Rick, Gerald, Havard, Yuvraj, Gary, Orisha. Sean from New Orleans. Frederick from Sweden. Tam Fam Japan. I think Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines. This sort of region of the world, I think is taking this one. Sri Lanka, Kettering, Lebanon, Vietnam, Durban in the house. Rob Lynn from the Philippines. Yeah, Kimi Antonelli fastest lap. Let's watch out for Kimi then. And if the hard tyre is the fastest tyre here, it's great news for Antonelli. He's on the freshest fastest tyre. Carolyn Carew from Johannesburg. Sarah Albronda. It is 3 to 8 in the morning. Nice Sunday morning Grand Prix. 2 p.m. in Taiwan. Hope everything's well in Taiwan. Jay Lee from Barbados. Crazy Aid from Cyprus. Bring Formula 1 to New Orleans. Yes, I can get behind that. Kira Edit says, please shout me out. Oh, I've deleted, but I've already shouted you out. Trinidad in the house. Terence Saunders here. Okay. So, if Verstappen can hold on to this... Oh my goodness. Carlos Sainz almost took off Oliver Behrman's front wing. Chopping across. As Behrman was bouncing on the curbs. Jasper Witt from Bournemouth. Size X is your channel. Yeah. Bring Formula Series to New Zealand. So, no rain as of yet. No rain. And look at the Verstappen Norris Piastri with 18 laps to go. What does this mean? And what do you do if you're Piastri and you think you've got the pace here? Bring the Turkish GP again. California, USA, 11 a.m. No, 11 p.m. Scott Christchurch. Kuro, sub to you. Big fan. Thank you very much. Can we get to 111,000 subscribers? Chat, can we get to 111,000? If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and we'll get there. You know, the incredible thing here is drivers are not really making mistakes. So, Verstappen 32 dead, Norris 31.9, Piastri 31.8, Leclerc 31.9, Russell 31.9, Antonelli 31.5, Hamilton 32.3, Hadjar 32.1, Albon 32.4, Behrman 32.3, Alonso 32.6, Tsunoda 32.4, Gasly 32.3, Doohan 33.3. Hulkenberg 33. Carlos Sainz 31.6 on the softs. Carlos Sainz and Lawson on the soft tyre. Okay, Liam Lawson here is going for a mad strat on the soft tyre. Let's have a look. Japan weather very unpredictable. Yeah, no yellow flags. Bring Japan back. Yeah, agreed. I would love to go to Malaysia. What's GP there? Yolanda Vesti coming in with the weather. It will stay dry for at least the next 2 hours. So, unless the grass is on fire. Does that mean the grass on fire is more likely? Duanza is 38,000 feet en route to Singapore. Are you on Singapore Airlines? Are you in business class? If you're in business class, you've got to take a photo and then put it in our Discord. www.simracingdiscord.com. I need to update the link in here. Thanks, our Taiwanese friend. Appreciate it. Yeah, we should do a nations check. We'll do it from the race, and you can put your tariff. What's your new USA tariff rate? Put your country and your tariff rate. Who's got the highest tariff? Vietnam. Has Vietnam got like 1,000,000% tariffs now? So keep an eye on the soft runners, because the soft runners are lapping 2 seconds a lap quicker. Well, Lawson's made a mistake. Lawson's made a mistake on that lap. He's done 33. So unless there was one... No, because Carlos Sainz is... Where is old Sciencey? Where's Sciencey? I think Lawson... Unless Lawson's had to get past Doc on that lap, potentially. South Africa, 31%. Dark Cloud, only 10% in Australia. Estonia in a house. South Africa, 30%. Oh, is it Cambodia? Yeah, only a sweet 10% here. Barely affected. 1.2 now. Just want to flag, chat, that the gap between Verstappen and Norris has come down. And although this race has not been the most dynamic of races, is a British way of putting it, we could still have one of the most exciting finishes to this race, because we could genuinely have a three-way fight for this Grand Prix with cars defending and fighting it. That could happen. And that might be the price. You pay the price earlier on in the race with that stability for some chaos at the end. We'll see. Our brother Lesotho has 50%. Do you think there should be a career Grand Prix? I think there should be. Maybe they should do like... Okay, here's an idea. Maybe Formula 1 should do like promotion and relegation. So like circuits can get promoted. So you have a Formula 1 Division 2. And in Formula 1 Division 2, you have the same teams. Welcome all new subscribers. You have the same teams, but you have like Division 2 drivers. And both the teams and the tracks can get promoted. So there's promotion and relegation. So like whoever does a boring ass GP this year gets relegated. Chat, W idea or L idea? Let me know. Let me know. Yeah, Carlos Sainz and Liam Lawson on the soft tyre. Sean, that's actually a great idea. Saka says, let's replace Kirith with Ben Sulayem. That means you want Ben Sulayem sat here right now doing the watch along. That's what you've requested there. We'll try and pull some strings. The surroundings here might be too modest. There's not a lot of luxuries. It's true, car riders. Come on, chat. We can do so much better on the like front. We can. We know we can. We get battered by the other streams and the likes. Leclerc, we suggest engine braking +1. And Leclerc is saying, yes, you've already told me I don't do it for a reason. So classic Ferrari strat going on there. Is Antonelli going to catch George Russell 6 seconds? The answer looks to be no. So Hamilton and Antonelli trying something different, but it hasn't really worked out. You're invited to the barbecue. Very nice. W room, W stream, W mods. 1.3 seconds, but look at Oscar Piastri just loitering. If you're the third car in that train, do you feel the most confident in looking after your tyres and coming strong at the end? You might have to dress more racy. You have to put the old race suit on. Welcome, Medhanch. Verstappen 1.4 seconds. So, you know, is Verstappen maintaining the gap here, or is the gap being maintained to him? Verstappen just tracking potentially incorrect. Adjust at the stop. What? Maybe they didn't adjust some flap or something. I don't think they're referring to a new stop. Will they let Piastri pass Norris? I don't know. John Riverplate and Olympiakos. Good morning from Greece. Let's go my McLaren, spelled incorrectly. For the next victory, I am a very fanatic fan. Welcome on board. Bortoletti being told you can push everywhere. How is it going for the soft runners? So the soft runners look to be lapping. Well, this is the thing. Carlos Sainz isn't lapping any quicker right now than Alex Albon. Even though Carlos Sainz is on 10 lap newer softs to Albon's hards. So Alex Albon just wiping the floor here with Carlos Sainz. Wow, a lot of messages getting deleted in the chat. It's kicking off. It's all kicked off there. 1.4 seconds, 13 laps to go. Chat, who's going to win this Grand Prix? Verstappen, Lando or Piastri? Who do you think? Yeah, no rain right now. Put in the chat who you think's going to win. Who are you thinking? Verstappen, welcome Keezer Hudson. Keezer going Stroll. Brave shout. Rodney Piastri, C Piastri. Yeah, Mr. T-Dubs, we previously done the KCR F1 League after the races, which I've done in VR. NASCAR Verstappen. Chai saying Piastri doesn't seem allowed to pass Norris. I say go for it. Has team orders been confirmed there? Has team orders been confirmed? Why I saw the Japanese Grand Prix highlights, they're probably from the 2005 Grand Prix. They're 20 years old. So it looks like Verstappen matched the max. Verstappen is the favourite here. Flacco's getting the urge to spam the chat too. The mods. Maybe we do that on the last race of the season, like we turn off all the rules. Still 1.4 seconds. Be it Piastri in DRS. If Piastri's in DRS, you'd imagine he's able to manage the tyres a little bit and use that DRS to catch up on the straight. Dark Cloud saying Piastri had DRS, yes. The shirt is drip, yeah. This is my treat at the beginning of last season. Before McLaren were quick. To use my power responsibly. Adrian Hope's drama enters this race. Size X a raging bull. Where is Verstappen? 1.5, eking it out a little bit.
Okay, crack on.
But in some ways, this has felt like a Monaco Grand Prix, but just not in Monaco. Like, I feel like if this was a 3-stop, if they just make it a 3-stop, you just bring more potential tactics into play. Check on Sonoda. Where is Sonoda? P12. Liam Lawson, P17. This strategy for Lawson. Well, I mean, if Carlos Sainz can get past Hulkenberg and Doohan, but then Lawson have to do the same. Piastri. If Lando's still saving, I think he should go soon. So Piastri trying to turn the wick. Do you think Yuki is cooked? Does Yuki have the paces to get past Alfonso? I mean, Oliver Behrman. What a result this is for Behrman, by the way. Isn't Behrman having an insane race? How is Stroll going to affect the outcome? Safety car. I think that's the other thing, is that ironically the drivers are too good that there's no safety cars. So you used to get that back in the day. Back in the day, Piastri, this is Lando's pace. So Piastri saying, like I said, I have the pace to get max. You got to say that. You got to bank these things during the season. So later on you say, you remember Japan? Well, I didn't go for it. Well, now I'm going to go for it. But back in the day, you know, a car would blow up, a driver would bin it. You'd have yellow flags. I mean, I don't think there's been a single yellow flag here. You'd have yellow flags, you'd have safety cars. Yeah, I'm doing that commentator curse. In a good way for us. Fred Mugisha saying Anthony doing well for a rookie. Yeah, 100%. Looks like Piastri's really closed the gap on Lando there. So I wonder if Piastri's going to force it. And then if you're Lando, if Lando doesn't have the pace, he's got to use all his politics now. If he does have the pace, it's quite simple. He can go and say, well, hang on, Piastri's putting me under pressure. No yellow flags. It looks like Piastri might... Now, what Piastri might be doing here is just applying a little bit of pressure just to send a message to the team and to, again, buy some credits now. Buy some credits now he can use later and say, I am the faster driver. Now, if he bins it now in the dirty air, he'll look very silly. What's going on here? All these deleted... Should see a blue flag soon for Stroll. We don't need to delete that message. There's nothing wrong with that message from Dark Cloud. I think we will see a blue flag soon for Stroll. I agree. What is going on with second Red Bull car? Well, it's just more difficult to drive. Remember, Snowder's just jumped in here, so... I think Snowder's actually doing quite well to drive that car. We'll see what happens with Lance Stroll. But yeah, we don't need to delete those messages. Martin Hamilton's icon looks like a road sign. Really? Does it translate differently? It has been. I mean, to get the first blue flag now is shows again the reliability and the general pace of the field here. Gnarly Dude said it's going to be a good end to the race. We'll see. So 1.2 is the gap. Maybe that pressure from Piastri did give Norris a move on as well. And the blue flag, you think, normally benefits the first car. Only Verstappen controlled the car. Get Jos in there. We have proposed that. What does a blue flag mean again? Blue flag means that you're being lapped, so you need to make way. I imagine Stroll is getting blue flags now. And if he's got his sense, he'll let them all through. Which is what he's doing. So Lance Stroll's letting them all through because he's been lapped. If Piastri passes Norris, Verstappen is leading the championship. Well, they won't want that. They won't want that at all. So 8 laps to go. Lance Stroll's been dealt with. The next lap car is Bortoletto, I believe. He's a long way ahead. Yeah, Lance Stroll just let everyone through. He's having a terrible race. Pretty embarrassing for Stroll. 1.1 now, Norris and Piastri. I think just for the pure spectacle, they've got to let Lando have a go here. Unless McLaren are like, we'll let Verstappen win this one. I mean, do McLaren want to win every race this season? That's a question, isn't it? Do McLaren want to win every race? MP4 4 days. Let's see what's going to happen. 1.1 DRS. 7 laps to go now. Verstappen goes over the line. 1.2 Piastri still in DRS of Verstappen. Of Norris. No one making mistakes here. No one making mistakes. It's a little bit tense now. because it's coming down to the business end of the race. Floyd Vigoro, who's your favourite driver? I'm really liking Antonelli at the moment. You can see here he's left Hamilton for dead, frankly. Just destroying Hamilton right now. He's got a fast lap of the race. What apped the tyres? What apped the tyres? Gnarly dude, only race I ever went to was the first Miami race, and the guy next to me was a huge McLaren fan. Did that make you a McLaren fan or not make you a McLaren fan? It can go two ways. Norris made the mistake at the pit. I don't think so, because I think... Would we all agree that Norris probably could get into DRS? I think Norris doesn't have the pace to really fight Max and overtake, which is why he sat there. And in terms of the strategy of the season, it might be the best McLaren. Like, let's just keep it like this. We stay in the lead. Let's not risk it. Yolanda Antonelli fast lap. Yep. Yes, indeed. 31 dead. Piastri in DRS down the home straight. 0.6. 0.5 a second. He really closes, doesn't he, down that straight? It's been a while since we've seen a driver like this who can drag a result out of a car. Size X Kimi has dropped car 44. Yeah, indeed. Kimi Antonelli here, I think, is having a super impressive race. Super impressive race. 1 second now between Norris and Verstappen. Maybe it's happening. Let's have a look out of Spoon. And then into the DRS. Yeah, Kimi is the youngest driver leading a Grand Prix. Craig, any pass now from the top three is going to be a dive into one of the corners and could end in tears. Let's see, it's all condensing. It is, yeah. I think this could happen at the death. I think this could happen at the death. Unless Verstappen is getting really good traction out of the Casio triangle. Look at Piastri here. 0.4 behind. Antonelli, oh my god, on the grass on the way into Casio Triangle, goes straight over it. The guy has no concept of keeping it safe. Piastri half a second going into DRS. Hang on a second, surely not. 0.3 tenths. 0.1 tenths. Oh, Piastri. Piastri is probably making this quite annoying. Kimi being told, good lad. Probably quite annoying this for Lando, isn't it? Maybe Piastri wants to put some pressure on Norris in terms of the championship. There might be some stern words here in the cool down. Norris had to go ever so slightly defensive. Not fully defensive, but just a hint of defensiveness going into turn one. We've seen this before from Piastri. We saw it in Melbourne before he spun. That he certainly has the pace. Let's have a look at Spoon. What's happened with Carlos Sainz? Carlos Sainz has got past Hulkenberg. Piastri on the hunt for his birthday present. Is it his birthday? So he's 9 tenths behind here. We'll get a slipstream going into 130R. 3,000 people watching. Welcome along, everyone. If you're new here and you're enjoying this watch along, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Don't leave without hitting the subscribe button. You will also get us to 111,000. So Piastri not as close. Maybe we'll be charging this lap. 4 laps to go. I mean, I wonder if McLaren are going to be really annoyed at Piastri here. They might say, "Oh, we had grand plans for Norris to overtake Verstappen, but we couldn't because Piastri." They might try and spin this. It is Piastri's birthday. Go on then. Turning 24 today.
Keep your head down.
Again, within a second. Yeah, Antonelli, 4 laps to go, catching Russell. Surely Russell's made a mistake somewhere because he's catching a lot. But I don't think he's going to have enough. Lap, you can see right at the top. Michael almost ate a Piastri burger in celebration. Happy birthday, little Piastri. Why is Hamilton slow? Just absolutely washed, mate. Maybe the mediums aren't the tyre to be on right now. Ooh. Can we confirm a Verstappen win? By the way, driver of the day. Driver of the day. Does it have to be Verstappen? Does anyone not think Verstappen's driver of the day? Like, this may be a masterclass. Yeah, Liam Lawson is 17th. In the very fast RB. I mean, Hadjar up in 8. Lindvlad's going to be jumping in there. Sizex, get out of the way, Lando. Well, now actually it looks like Lando 1.1. Maybe Lando will have a bit of a notional crack at it. How do they define driver day? Whatever we think in chat. Whatever we think. We can vote. Just put your name in. Jean says, or Janae says Behrman. Welcome Martin, Box, Haducci as well. Welcome to the community. Thanks for the subscription. I mean, let's say McLaren have the fastest car. Do you think strategy-wise, like, we're just not going to risk overtaking Verstappen? We feel in the context of the season we don't need to. And I wonder also, like, at a very high level strategically, they might feel like, look, we need to keep the pressure on our drivers and our team. We're gonna call this one and not push for it, and Verstappen's gonna win because that's gonna keep us honest, and that will really be a reminder that this is not in the bag, as everyone else has been saying. Ali says driver of the day, definitely not Lawson or Stroll. So we have also not drivers of the day. As Anthony does another fastest lap, 1.6. 4/10 quicker than Russell. Not quite going to work, but Antonelli wasn't a million miles off making that strategy work, actually. Is Piastri backing off? Kind of looks like it. Maybe he got a sharp radio message. The fat Ferrari 12 seconds off. Yeah, I think... I mean, look at Hamilton here. Hamilton is closer to Hadjar, I think, than Antonelli, probably. Antonelli, driver of the day. Yeah, Hadjar as well, continuing to impress. After such a bad start in Melbourne, Hadjar is looking really good. It's really bad how they treated him in Melbourne. They didn't say, look, we know Hadjar's a really fast driver. It's a shame it's happened, but we completely back our driver. They didn't do anything like that. Lando Norris's brother's there and his dad. Little bro. Dark Cloud, fastest lap again. Antonelli. Yes, indeed. But the top drivers aren't that far. Will we see Verstappen on the last lap go for fastest lap? Because that would be a real statement. It is going to be last lap now, by the way. We're on the last lap already. Welcome back, won't cure you. Hadjar, Antonelli cooking. I mean, that's going to be the... Maybe that's World Drivers' Championship Battle of the Future. Hadjar in a Red Bull. Antonelli in a Mercedes. Behrman in a Ferrari. And we'll think back, when we're streaming it, we'll think back to this race. Do you remember in Suzuka when like they were just starting out? 55 more subscribers needed. We can do it, chat. We can do it. We get to 11,000 or 111,000. Verstappen sector 1. Are they pushing for it? Lando with the fastest sector now. So Lando with the fastest sector 1. Are they all pushing? Are all three of them pushing for it? Let's see what happens. I think they might be pushing for fastest laps here. Just for pride. Because there's no point anymore. Like, there's no World Championship point. What about Sector 2? What's Sector 2 going to say as they come out of Spoon? Is it going to be the fastest sectors? Oh, 41.6. So is it actually Piastri's on the fastest lap right now as they come into Cash Triangle? So Verstappen is going to win this race. It is going to be a pole position. Lights to flag, essentially, although the pit stops. But checker flag. Verstappen does win the 2025 Japanese Grand Prix, which is not something I think most people had predicted before the weekend. What does this do for the championship? Verstappen gains ground on Lando Norris. So Verstappen, I think, will still be P2, but he will have gained ground here. And the McLarens looked a little bit impotent. Good job, Lance Stroll. Yeah, so if you're a Verstappen fan, your boy is showing you can never write him off. That's not often we see drivers win in cars that are not the fastest car. We don't tend to see it in Formula 1. Nice result for Honda. Yeah. And it is Verstappen's 4th Japanese Grand Prix win in a row. For the 4-time WDC, who's going for that 5. He's going for the 5-time to go clear of Alan Prost. Very clean race. Very clean race. I would say visually, I mean, this has been the most exciting way to watch the race. If you're watching on TV, it's probably been a super boring race because visually there hasn't been cars overtaking. So, is being a GOAT a good thing? If you are the GOAT, tends to be a good thing. Shame Yuki didn't get in the points in the end. Yes. Behrman in P10, Hadjar in P8. Look at the best of the rest. I mean, Hadjar is the first non-Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes. So, pretty impressive by RB and Hadjar. And then you have to say, pretty embarrassing from Lawson. Yeah, Piastri showed there as well. He showed moments that, hey, I've got the pace. He just sent that message that I think he'll try and cash in later on. Thanks, everyone. Subscribe and join the chat. Yes, indeed. All the fruits there. Is that a fruit platter you brought out? Remember to take your fruit from... Oh, there's some onions on there. And there's some broccoli. What kind of fruit platter is that? And chilies. Can you do a proper fruit platter, please? Can you do one fruit platter and one vegetable platter separately? Els gambled your life savings. Hopefully it went well. Semlitz looks forward to Norris Piastri drama. Will be a great season. Well deserved match. I think it's great for Verstappen. He's going to take in the plaudits. Hopefully the fans will appreciate it. Obviously they do have the Honda logo on the car, so all the Honda fans will appreciate that. No worries, Sarah. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, maybe we can still, on the way out, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you are leaving. We might get to 111,000 subscribers, which would be huge. And then I can try and take a screenshot when it hits 111111, which will be off stream probably. But 111111, and we'll do something like that. Is Sir Lewis Hamilton washed? Oh. Sarah's already subscribed. Like a pro strat. Eduardo says this race was so boring. I do agree that the race fundamentally, objectively, is the most boring race we've had this season compared to Australia. Australia was very exciting. Australia, we were spoiled in Australia. And I just think doing a one-stop race like this when the cars are so reliable is super boring. Oh, did someone lock up at the end? Did Lando lock up in the last corner and cut the corner? Did the checker flag come out here? Lando locked up, cut the chicane, and Piastri was right behind him. And Piastri said cheeky, just noting it again. Just noting it. Just noting it. Ooh. Welcome, Kitten and Mateko as well. Am I here for the next race? I believe so. I think there's a clash when I'm in Monaco, because I think is it Miami when I'm in Monaco? We'll try and do it. We might be doing a partnered stream for that one as well. I'm just trying to work out the dynamic if I need to get back to them. Is there a Google on the back of the... What's on the back of the... What's on the back of the Red Bull on the wing? Whoa, big jump from Verstappen. Huge jump. W stream for sure. Hamilton is still there. Forrest's done the pace. What's it going to be like between Lando and Piastri? I'm going to keep an idea. By the way, Red Bull looks so good in white. Kimi Antonelli fastest lap of the race and a P6 from Antonelli. One to watch, definitely. He's good in the Adidas race suit. I mean, surely the race suit is not Adidas. Surely the race suit is actually Sparko or someone, and then Sparko have to put an Adidas logo on it. I like the Red Bull race suit. Mark, what did you miss? Mark, did you say subscribe? Did you get a notification? Yeah, the white cars are nice actually. Kind of miss them. Kind of want to see them more. I haven't seen Lando and Piastri have a sort of handshake, actually. I haven't seen that. Maybe a bit of spice. If that was bad for Lawson, it was worse for Yuki. Really? I think it's bad for Yuki. How is it bad for Yuki? I think it's that bad for Yuki. I mean, it's his first race in the Red Bull. Oh, Piastri's doing the interview first. Kim, you are the best commentator, but I cannot find you for the race. Do you have notifications turned on? Are you subscribed with notifications turned on? So again, if you're watching now and you want to make sure you get notified, you have to click give me all notifications. But I'd be disappointed if you're subscribed and it's not showing up for you. That's a YouTube thing. Yeah, you have to hit the bell. Someone can describe how to do it. I think they should keep that Red Bull livery. I think the Red Bull logo pops better on white. I think the Red Bull logo doesn't look that good on blue. Honestly, this is a controversial opinion, maybe. But I think it looks really good on white. Hit the bell. That's one way of putting it, Morpheus. I mean, I'd say it's really not great for Lawson. He hasn't done well in the Red Bull, and he hasn't done well in the RB. So what's the common factor there? It's Liam Lawson. It happens all the time. Got 43,500 people have come through the stream, but maybe it's not showing. Yeah. We should do more, encourage more shares of the stream. YouTube really likes that. DraftKings lacking on your payout. Come on, DraftKings, whatever DraftKings are. But come on, all 20 cars finished. It was a one-stop race. One car got lapped. Not a lot of overtaking. In its own, like yes, there's concert season, but in its own, Formula One. That's not the best advert for Formula One. Thanks, Chaya. Thanks, C. Thanks, Kiryu. No worries, Kim. Now you'll be notified. Now you get all the other content as well. And there'll be a post-race video, by the way, going out on the Motorsport channel. So on the Motorsport channel, there will be a post-race. So